Hello, I've got a cold. Don't know where I bloody caught it from because well, I've got nobody that I could have picked this up from. I've been inside. It's been snowing. Look at this. Still, still going. I don't think there's been any more since last night, but what is out there is now kind of frozen slush, which means it's really, really nasty. And also, you see how we've got condensation on the inside of the window here? Woke up this morning, that was all frozen. So had I not put in the secondary glazing, it would have been below zero in my bedroom, which would suck. I do find it mad that this house had been here for 125 years before we got it. Nobody had ever put in double glazing or insulated the attic. Like, how cold must it have been every year, year on year? So, yeah, I've caught a cold from somebody or just from being cold. Which means, annoyingly, I've got to limit my ambitions a little bit. I'll tell you what, though, other than that, um, really enjoying this year so far. I mean, every time I look at the news, I'm just like, what the entire fuck is going on? I mean, Trump's about to start another war. So I think we kind of just all need to be ready for that. But it's almost easier to handle because it's so mad and so bizarre and so unhinged. Like, I can't possibly, I'm not involved in any of that. I can't possibly, I can't vote for somebody else. I can't take part in America's democratic institutions. I can't do anything, as is the case for most of us in the world. So I'm just putting it out of my head and enjoying being locked in the house because of the snow. That doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything though. We've kicked off this year in a very different energy, I think, than I've ever had before. I know we can't stay like this forever, but I mean, it sounds like we're in the position where we could just spend the whole of the rest of January just being in, getting on with bits and pieces, doing our own projects as a family, and just staying warm and having nice family time. And just, you'll never get that back. You know, you can't buy that quality time. So yeah, that's what I'm really working on, embracing. Uh, been doing a lot of writing, which is really nice. As I've said to you before, not something I've ever done as a whole project. I've long since had notebooks and Google Docs and things with scribbles of ideas, but never a coherent thing, never a coherent narrative to hook them all together. But it came to me the other day, so I'm enjoying doing that. I'll tell you something I've been doing today. I've been filling in my application for The Apprentice. Not The Apprentice, sorry. What's the other one? The Traitors. I mean, I'd go on either, don't get me wrong, but I feel like The Apprentice, I just deeply dislike anybody else that was in there with me. But no, The Traitors. So I've done my application form today, except for the video. I've got to do a video, and I've got to take some headshots, which is kind of why I've trimmed the beard because it was looking a bit of a mess. Although I'm going to wait until I'm not sniffing, um, because I've got a minute to be like, hey, you want this guy, and here's why. So I've also got to think about what I'm going to say. Don't get me wrong, I don't think for a second I'm going to get it. But every year 20 people do. So, and honestly, they like the application form. It was loads and loads of different bits. Tell us about this. Tell us about that. Tell us, what your strategy would be. What makes you a good liar? How would you play the game? What do you think of previous ones? And I've had quite a bit to say. And then there's a few things about your background that I've mentioned. It's been interesting things. There's a great section on what's the best lies that you've ever got away with, and so I've just relayed a bunch of the lies that I really enjoy telling Nina, including that the Big Bang happened on a Wednesday. You know, that sort of stuff. Even if she only believes for a few moments until her higher brain functions kick in, it's still a glorious thing. So I'll be finishing that off. I've also got an electrician, friendly electrician, really, really good, really good guy. His wife does pole fitness with Nina, and he's been over to the bothy once when we were just kind of trying to figure out what was going on with electrics, and then he's going to be basically telling me what I need to do. I'm going to send him a diagram today of the bothy and what I have, what I would like to get in, and he's going to kind of give me advice on running in the cables myself, and then he's going to do the fuse box and things like that. So hopefully by the end of Feb we can have a full set of power. Obviously it depends on me getting back down there, but that's going to be a question for when the weather improves. So yeah, ticking forward, and I don't want to jinx anything, but this yips that I've had for a long time, this executive function, I seem to be slowly chipping away at it. I'm able to just kind of pick things up and get on with them, and more importantly, get excited, or well, maybe excited is overcooking it, but enthusiastic about, you know, getting on with projects. And I think I'm kind of feeling a bit better knowing, you know, I've just having said to myself, listen, if this doesn't become a sustainable business, at least not in, you know, in the first 6 months or whatever, then I may have to get another day job. But if I do, I do. Which is all the more reason why I need to just really enjoy this time now. But also, as and when I do, I will still at that point also have a fully set up workshop, hopefully, with a blacksmith forge, and you know the bike business will still be going. I don't have any concerns about the bike business continuing. The question is how much it can reasonably be expanded to provide a living. So the proof will be in the pudding. Gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, for now, more snow, more snow, more snow.